Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom. I'm Jake T. O'Donnell. Today we're at the White Plains Winter Extravaganza card show. A lot of great dealers, a lot of great vintage. We made the trip from the Massachusetts area for the show, and we're having a really nice time. Great show. Met a lot of good YouTubers, a lot of good folks, and made some good pickups so far. Hoping to get some more on the other side of the show footage. To show you the pickups. Another thing I just want to mention off the top is that I'm going to be on the For Collectors live stream Sunday night, so be sure to check that out too. But, so we're going to show you some show footage, and then on the other side of that, I'll show you some pickups.
It's dependent on the character, but all of these
He doesn't have a lot of like maze, man, like big guys. He's got a couple of pieces, a couple of Wolves, a couple of Garrick. I think that's.
There's a few things that I have that, because this, it's mostly open cards. You see some
WWE Hall of Famer and champion Wendy Richter. They're in the main hall.
But I did like something that Brad's doing. If you look at his raw case, he has stickers made up that say 50% off. Every raw card.
No, that's why I'm confused. I know Robert Henry.
Yeah, we are.
Years ago, I was at the house in Jersey. I don't know
Watch out,
there to look at some of the things that I ended up buying.
Yep.
Which I bought.
We'll keep that in consideration.
52 Bowman.
Yeah.
Price again, man.
A lot of Dizzy Trout. More Dizzy Trout than you could ever hope for.
I know. Somebody asked a little bit earlier. I usually try to get them, but I had one in a couple of months. For real?
I'll see if you have any.
Seaver.
A lot of Dick Wakefield.
Thank you. Great comments. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Those are all.
All right, so back home, a lot of driving the last couple days. Abby and I drove down Friday night. We stayed over in White Plains, and then we went to the show. Today, we were there for probably about 3 hours or so. We got in line before the doors actually opened. Kind of a long line to get in. You see a picture of me that Abby took a picture of me out front. And then we went in, and overall, I would say had a really nice experience at this show. I think that there may have been some logistical issues in terms of getting around that I'll kind of let other YouTubers who were at the show kind of talk about it, because they've had other experiences at the show. This was the first time I'd ever been to a show at the Westchester County Center, first time ever at White Plains. I don't have a frame of reference, but I know that other guys are going to kind of talk about because at first, when I first got there, 10 o'clock, it was very easy to get around. But by the time it got to be about 11:30, noon, it got really hectic in there, and you kind of saw from some of the video footage of when I was kind of up on the stage there looking out how crowded it was, which is great. But I think from what I understand, there's a possibility that there might be a better way at that venue to kind of do stuff. So I'll let other folks that have been to that show talk about that. But overall, for me, it was a good experience. There was a ton of vintage at the show, a ton of the great vintage dealers at the show. The ones that set up at the National, that set up at the big shows, and a lot of the ones that set up at the Shriners in Boston. So it was great to see a lot of those dealers, and great to see their supply, their vintage supply. Overall, I didn't go crazy at this show in terms of spending. My budget was not as big for this show as the last Shriner show was. But I would say that I was really able to knock out things in really, I guess, specifically 4 areas of my collecting, plus stuff for the channel, which I'm really thrilled about. So I'm going to kind of go through everything. I want to say off the top that it was great to get to see some YouTubers in person. There were a couple that I met in person for the first time. Right when I walked into the show, BRoth6, Brian, was set up as a vendor. So Abby and I got the chance to meet him in person. I'd never spoken to Brian before. We had a lovely conversation. It's great to hear about him and his history and how he kind of has become this full-time card dealer. So that was cool. I got to meet in person for the first time the man, the myth, the legend, Mookie Chilson, who just was wonderful to speak to him, and just one of my favorite, most entertaining people on YouTube, on this platform, and somebody that helps really make the hobby a lot of fun. Shout out to Mookie. It was great to meet you, man. And then he had another friend, Pete, who I unfortunately I don't know the name of his channel, but he was there as well. And then there was return engagements with a couple of my favorite other YouTubers, folks that I first met at Shriners, and that's Dan from Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. He was there. It was great to talk to him. And then I'm going to kind of lead into talking about Sammy Thunder, who was there as well. And Sammy was actually we did a deal there in person that was actually the biggest single deal that I did at the show. And it was a deal that we'd been talking about for months that started one thing, and then at the show, it turns out he had something else that I wanted. And so this is for my 61-62 Celtics, Fleer Celtics run. We had agreed a while ago that at the show, I was going to buy this Sam Jones rookie card from him in a SGC 4.5, just a really pretty, really beautiful card. Good centering on this. And then you see the back, and it turned out that Sammy also brought another card that I needed for the run, and it's one of the bigger cards in the run, and it was the regular Kuzi card in an SGC 3. So the centering's a little bit off, but it is a super sharp card and a great picture of the Kuz. And there you go. You see the back, beautiful there. So I'll put up a picture that Abby took of me and Sammy right after we did the deal. So it was wonderful to see Sammy. It's always great to see him. Always great to spend time with him. Again, I'll mention this, that I'm probably going to post this tonight, either tonight, Saturday, or tomorrow, first thing Sunday morning. I will be on the For Collectors live stream Sunday night, and I'm going to link to that below so that you can set a notification for that. So we'll talk. I'll talk more about this card show experience on that. So. Great deal with Sammy, and like I said, this kind of ended up being the biggest deal that I swung today, was to get these 2 cards. So I'm going to show 2 other cards that came in recently. My next video will be an SGC grades reveal that I actually did get the return back of the 5 cards that I sent in, and then I'll go through some other mail. But basically, between these 2 and then 2 raw cards that came in this week, the last card that I need to complete the Celtics 61 Fleer run is the Bill Russell action shot where there's hands over his face. So I'm not in a huge rush to get that, but I will get it at some point. So again, that's one area of my collecting that I was able to address today. Okay. So then the next area was I'll talk about the T206 Action Shot Hall of Famers, and I ended up getting 2 cards to help me with that. The first is this of John McGraw, the finger in the air. Now this is an authentic trimmed card. This was from a dealer, Z Sports Cards. Mike is his name. He had this as well as an SGC 1 of the same card, but it had paper loss, and I actually thought the registration was a little bit better on this card than on that card than this one. But I thought that this was just a cleaner card. And yes, it does say it's trimmed. It's just the Piedmont 150. But overall, I gave up the McGraw card that I had in the deal to get my Cobb. So it was nice to replace, and that was the E91B, right? Basically, it didn't really look like him. So I was happy to replace it with this. So I got a nice deal on that from Mike. And then the last card that I picked up for the day was this really nice 1910. So this is the Sweet Cap 350 of Iron Man McGinnity. I love the color on this. The back is like kind of off center. Like it's actually really off center, but like the front is it's off center, but it's not that bad. So I think 2 is a fair grade on this, and I was happy with what, I paid $200 for this. Just the color is perfect on this. So Iron Man McGinnity was a star of the Giants rotation for John McGraw during the 1900s. Specifically was a major part of the 1905 World Championship team. And Iron Man earned his nickname. It was really mostly because he worked at an iron foundry in the off seasons, but the man had an iron shoulder. He had an iron arm. He had multiple seasons where he threw over 400 innings, and he set the all-time modern record of, I think it's 438 innings or something like that he pitched one year. That record will never be broken. And then, so he's pitching for Newark in I believe the International League in this T206 card. He only pitched in the big leagues for 10 years, and he did get in the Hall of Fame. But then he went on and pitched until he was 54. At this point, 1909 or 1910, I think he's in his late 30s at that point. But he again, was out of the big leagues, but he continued to pitch until he was 54, and then I think he died when he was 58. Iron Man. So this is a really great ad. So that knocks 2 cards off of my my build for T206 Action Shots. And those are both really nice examples of cards that I picked up. The next one that I'll show is again. So that's the second area, collecting. Another area is building Yaz PC, and I was on the lookout for a bigger Yaz card that I don't have. I was maybe looking to try to get a 69 top super. I didn't see one of Yaz at the show. But I did go through someone's bin who had a bunch of Hall of Famers, cheaper Hall of Famers, and I picked out this card that when I picked it out and bought it, I had no idea what it was. It wasn't until I got back home here that I looked up and figured out what this actually was. Because the reason why I bought it was because I could tell it was playing days, because it doesn't have his complete statistics on the back there. It just has like his 419 home runs, and he hit 452 in his career. So what is this? This is a 1981 Permagraphics Superstars credit card. And this company, Permagraphics in St. Louis, teamed up with Topps to make these cards of sort of like really super of the best sort of players of the era, and they were intended to look and feel like credit cards, and they kind of do. They feel like the sort of, I guess, assume what the credit cards of the era were like. It's just kind of a gimmicky thing, and you could send away and get the whole set. And you see here where it says autograph, where they I think encouraged you to like bring this to games and get an autograph and have it signed there. So it kind of looks like, the signing of a credit card on the back. So this was $5, and I had no idea what it was. Playing Days Yaz card, so I figured, hey, I'll pick it up. So I'm glad I did. So again, another, it's the third area of my collecting that I was able to add. I'll show some wax that I bought, and then I'll get to the last group. And this wax. Oh, I should mention that the Iron Man McGinnity I bought from John Goodman. I believe I mentioned that. So John was set up at the front there. He has a lot of good pre-war stuff, and he's always at Shriners. So I bought that from John Goodman. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that that's who I bought the Iron Man from. There was another dealer in the back who he goes by, I believe his name is actually Eric Weiser, but he has this really cool business card. So he's Abe Stark cards, and you see the back looks like the Sweet Capital back of the cards. So this was Eric, from I believe Eric Weiser, Eric at abestark.com. So check that out. He had a bunch of really good wax of the type of stuff that I like to pick up usually. So I was able to get four wax packs that we will be opening on the channel here pretty soon. So I got a pack of 84 Fleer. On the lookout for Mattingly and Strawberry rookies there. This is a nice one. I've never opened O-Pee-Chee on the channel, so this will be great. I got an 85 O-Pee-Chee. So obviously some good Hall of Fame rookies in that set potentially. Had to get an 89 Upper Deck pack. I don't have any in my inventory, so we'll open this one and maybe have the chance at the Griffey. We'll see. And then 1990 Leaf, Frank Thomas rookie. So we'll open those on the channel. So again, another area of the collecting figured out. And then 76 top set build. So I may have mentioned on the channel previously that I thought I was down to like one card that I needed. Well, it turns out that I made like a color coding error on my spreadsheet, and it turns out I actually needed like 30 cards. I went to one of the guys who has, and again, I don't know his name off the top of my head, I apologize. I think he sets up at Shriners and other shows too. One of the guys that just has the binders, like tons of the binders of the cards from all different years, and Abby and I sat down, we went through the list. I was able to get all but one of the cards I needed to finish the set in this one transaction, and there was like 30-ish cards here, and I'll pick out some good ones. There's George. Let me just do this. There's George Boomer Scott that I needed. Cesar Geronimo. There's Gaylord Perry, Hall of Famer. George Foster. Red's great. There's Tom Seaver, Strikeout Leaders that I needed that one. Let's see, it's a lot of commons in here. Cards are in really nice shape. You know, a bunch of Reds guys. There's Jim Wynn, the Toy Cannon, the All-Star card. Ken Brett, brother of George Brett. Tommy John, of course. One that I really needed, and it was one that I had mentioned, was that I really needed this checklist. I was able to get it clean, which was nice. But there was one card that I needed that this guy didn't have, so I went over to a different table, and lo and behold, I was able to get the last card that I needed for the set, and it was Gary Nolan of the big fame of the Big Red Machine. So I got that from another dealer. So with that, I finished building the 76 set today. So there you go. So again, no like huge singular individual purchases today. You'll go and watch Sammy Thunder's video from today, is day 2, and you can see a huge big individual purchase that happened today at the show, and it's thrilling for Sammy, and go check that out. For me, I kind of spread things out today, and I'm really happy with what I came home with. So I had a really great time. Abby and I had a really nice weekend. Would probably go back to the White Plains show. Hopefully they can get some of the logistics figured out so that it's not so crazy crowded in there during the peak hours of the show. But that's it. So a lot of good pickups. So like I said, I'm going to come back later this week, or probably the beginning part of this week, and do a video showing you guys some recent mail that came in and my SGC return, and probably open one of these packs probably later on the channel later this week, and then of course 59 Tops Friday as well. So a lot of really good fun stuff coming up. So I want to thank everybody very much for watching. Please go below and check out the link for the live stream for Sunday night on 4 Collectors channel. I will be on that. Really excited to join and chat with some really great folks in the hobby. Check out the link below for our ComC store so you can see if there's anything that we have that maybe you're interested in buying. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't before. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. We'd really appreciate it. Check out where you can follow us on all social media channels below as well. And then also check out our list of favorite nonprofits and charities. We'd really appreciate it if you could check those out and consider supporting one of them. So thank you very much for watching this edition of Wax Pack Wisdom, and we will see you next time. Take care.